We're here today because the prosecutor's office has prepared a request to have a default judgment affiliation entered today. Did you have a chance to review that order?
I believe I did, yes.
All right. And what's your position on that order being entered today, Mr. Chidsey?
I felt that I needed some type of, either representation, or someone on my side who knew a little more about it. I did take this, they were requesting a DNA test, is that correct?
Two different times, apparently, yes.
Right. I gave them a DNA test.
Mr. Rowland, did you get a copy of the fact that Mr. Chidsey, as he claims, has now submitted to a blood test?
No, Judge, and I would also remind the court that if you recall, this was previously scheduled for July, but then we had the system crash situation, and that's why we did not proceed with it at that time.
So when are you saying you took a DNA test, Mr. Chidsey?
That is correct. The results didn't work. I mean, inconclusive. So they want another one.
When did you take this?
They want
reported
another
test?
one, apparently.
When did you take this test, Mr. Chidsey?
I'm gonna say May.
Well, that's very credible, and here's why. Around that same time, the allegation in a written document that was submitted to me and that I ruled upon was that you had not complied with the court's order to engage in that genetic testing. So I respect what you're telling me. I don't have any reason to necessarily believe what you're telling me.
You're not showing that I took the test.
Well, that's what you're saying to me, Mr. Chidsey.
Yes, I did. Okay, all right.
Your Honor, that's why we had.
I don't have a problem with this taking the testing. Obviously, I did it once.
Well, that's what you're saying, Mr. Chidsey, but I don't have any proof of that fact, and I have an allegation by an officer of the court that you did
So they
not
lost my test, is what we're saying here, is they lost the test?
No, the allegation
And they
was that
don't have documentation. Excuse me, I'm sorry to interrupt. And they do not have documentation that I took this test.
Mr. Chidsey, excuse me, you can't both say that you are sorry for interrupting and then continue to speak over me. Those things are not accurate. You can't have both. I muted you for that reason. Here's why I muted you. I have a duty to have this case move forward like all cases. This case has been wallowing on my docket for months. So I'm going to hit the button allowing you to be unmuted, Mr. Chidsey, and I'm going to let you be heard again. There's probably a button that's going to pop up on your screen. Can you see that? I can't hear you right now because I had you muted, but I'm hitting a button asking you to hit unmute. You might have to get NDOC staff for assistance if you can't see it.
Your Honor, I did want counsel on this matter, and I was denied this.
Mr. Chidsey,
And I still am.
Mr. Chidsey, this is a civil proceeding. There is no right to counsel at court-appointed expense. This is not a criminal proceeding. So if you wanted counsel, you would have had to secure counsel in advance.
I wasn't, I'm sorry. I wasn't specifying the court-appointed.
Until that default was set aside, you would have no right to be heard on the merits, even if you had an attorney today.
Felt like I wanted to make sure my rights were being protected here. And now apparently I don't have any rights to protect.